What's going on, everybody? KKM here, and as you can see here, Call of Duty has finally released a trailer for DLC 3. It's going to be set in Stalingrad, and it's going to be based on Nikolai, of course, just like how we've had Takeo and Setsubo no Shima, Dempsey and Derizendrahe, and Richtofen and the Giant. So, one thing, basically what I did was I just got a bunch of screenshots from the video, and I'm going to talk about them, kind of give my thoughts, things you might have missed, and just things I noticed, stuff like that, kind of like discuss them. And I can't upload the whole trailer, unfortunately. I would if I could, but they have it copyrighted, so if I did, I'd get a copyright strike, and that would not be good for my channel. But anyways, the map is called Gorod, Krovi. I don't know how to say it, but it means City of Blood. I think it's Russian, since it's set in Stalingrad. I think it's Russian. I'm not sure. But anyways, the description of the trailer says, after escaping the swamps of Setsubo no Shima, the Origins characters are hurled into a war-torn Stalingrad. Our heroes face their most dangerous enemies yet among the remnants of a battle between giant mechanized soldiers and ferocious dragons. Now, one thing I did not get a screenshot of was the big dragon, because I didn't really know like what part I should screenshot, because it played a huge part in the trailer, and I didn't know which part I should have screenshotted. And so basically, my thoughts on it, it was like this huge full-body dragon, whereas in Derizendrahe, we only saw like the dragon's neck and its head, and it was used to eat zombies to get to the Rathiations, so it wasn't like a major role. It was just like a part of the map that you used to get to the bow, the Wrath of the Ancients. And the dragon in this map in Gorod, I don't know how to pronounce it. Gorod, Krovi, I don't know. But anyways, I'm just gonna call it the new map for now until I learn the pronunciation. But the dragon in this map, it was like blowing fire all over zombies, and Nikolai was talking about it. It was like, we don't want it. So I don't know if it's like, if it helps the player, hurts the player, or if it's a neutral and kind of hurts both zombies and the player. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait a little bit more to learn more about the dragon. So that's kind of why I didn't really take too many screenshots of the dragon, because I didn't really know what to screenshot and what to talk about. But it basically just breathes fire all over the place, and I saw a bunch of zombies get flamed by the dragon, and I never saw it affect the player. So I just heard quotes from Nikolai suggesting that it would hurt the player as well. But anyways, going on to the first picture here, there's a lot going on in this first picture, and I put all these in chronological order, so I'm going to link the video down in the description below. You guys can go see it for yourselves. But anyways, the first thing that pops out in this picture, look at what gun we're using. The MG42. This is clearly the MG42 sights from World at War. You can see the barrel. It's got the MG42 barrel, and it's got that classic feel to the gun. And it just feels like the MG42, just watching it and listening to it. And oh my, I really hope that the MG42 is back. That'd make me so happy, even though there's another gun, which you guys will see in about a couple minutes or so, that's making its return, and I'm even more excited about that. But not only the MG42, but if you look off to the left of your screen, you can see there's like some Brutus type thing. So it's got the, I can't think of the name of it. It's like some Russian soldier. I can't think of the name of it, but it's basically like a Russian super soldier suit on. It's like a Russian mech suit. And you can see his left arm, he's got that sickle, classic Russian melee weapon, and then his right arm looks sort of like, it reminds me sort of like a Panzer arm from Derizendrahe, how it shot the shock charges at you. That's kind of what this reminds me of. Now, I'm not exactly sure what it's going to do. I guess for this thing, we'll have to wait a little bit as well, just to kind of see what's going on. And you see in the background just a bunch of destroyed buildings, turned over cargo truck, and a zombie trying to climb up in the wall over there. And also, the positioning of this MG42 makes me think there will be a bipod on it as well, and I think that'd be pretty cool. So, let's see, I think I got everything. Then there's like some red light as well. I should probably point that out as well, because if you go over to the theme, the PS4 theme for this, you'll notice that there's like a big robot that's sort of like the one in Origins, just it's a different. It looks a little different. So maybe this light right here in the middle of the screen, it kind of reminds me of the lights from Origins that would kind of start blinking repeatedly and rapidly when the robot was approaching. And so maybe they'll have like the robot's foot that you could like jump into, or maybe they'll just have the robots walking throughout the map just like they did in Origins, and I think that that would be. I think that something just gives me a feeling that they are doing that, just with a lot of the evidence that I've seen with this light, the robot that's in the theme, the dragon. There's so many things. Maybe it could be even the dragon that does that, but I think it's going to be a big robot that's just a little bit different than the one in Origins, because they've been playing a pretty big part in the storyline as well. With Drahe, how they use that to get from Origins to the giant, which you saw the Origins robot in the back. It was covered in snow. And then they also used that to get to Drahe when it got shot down and the arm flew off, and they basically had to stay there at the Griffin station. And so, or Griffin Castle, my bad. Griffin Station's on the moon. But anyways, I do think that the robots are going to be making a return just based on all this evidence. So that's my thoughts there. This next pick, you can see the robot I was just talking about a couple seconds ago, and you also see here on the right. If this doesn't remind you of the World at War campaign, I don't know what will. This reminds me of the Reichenstadt. Even though that's in Germany, it reminds me of the Reich so much. And I don't even know if I said that right. It's been so long since I've used that word. But it's obviously not. It's obviously in Russia. It's in Stalingrad, but it reminds me of it. It's like I know in Russia they have like the Duma, which is like their version of the Reich. And but anyways, that's not the big focus of this picture. You see here in the bottom middle of the screen, there is a plane that's crashed into the ground. And so I'm not really too sure what that is, but one thing that it could have to do with is if you look up in the sky in Zatsubo no Shima and in this map, even in the trailer, all over, you can see that there are planes shooting around the sky that are flying around, going from dimension to dimension. And you even see it in the PS4 theme as well. You see that they have the dynamic part of planes of a plane cannon going off on both sides of the screen. So perhaps that's just one of the planes that crashed, trying to go from dimension to dimension, or I don't know. I mean, there's a couple of theories, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. I don't think it's wow. I can't speak. Oh my gosh. But I don't think it's too big of a deal. But one thing or two things that are a pretty big deal. You see here on the left, the bottom left, I didn't notice this at first sight, but that's actually the dragon's head. So maybe the Easter egg ends in you killing the dragon, or Nikolai is the dragon. I don't know. There's a lot of theories for that as well. But as you can see, he doesn't look like he's alive right now. He looks like he's pretty dead. So I don't know. Maybe it's sort of like a boss fight, and it's on your way to the Easter egg. No clue. But the biggest part of this is the robot that's right here in the middle of your screen. Impossible to miss. You see it's got the star in its chest. It's got the red visor that's sort of dusty now that it's fallen over. Its claws all the way on the ground, and it's all like sort of like that green Russian camo. I actually not really Russian camo, just like that green army color. It's not really in relation to Russia. It's a green army camo, or a green army color is what I should say. And you see a star on its chest also matches the star up on the building. So perhaps there's some kind of relation there. I'm not sure. Like I said before, we'll have to wait until we know more, until we can start like actually knowing what all this stuff means. And I think this is pretty cool that they do have the robot right here. But in this one, it's fallen over. So I'm pretty sure in Origins, if I can remember back that far, like 3 years ago, they had four robots. They had the three that walked by, and I'm pretty sure one of them was like falling over in the distance. And so I don't know. And then they also had the one that was fallen over in Drahe, and the one that was buried under snow in the Giant. So perhaps that's what this one is like. I'm not 100% sure, but again, it's just my thoughts and stuff that I've noticed and whatnot. So this next picture is something that's actually pretty menacing, pretty threatening. It's I don't remember what they called it. It's like some electric skeleton zombie type thing. And I'm not sure if it's going to be like a boss round. As you can see, there's two of them here. If it's going to be part of like a step to get a part or something, sort of like how they did in Drahe when you were trying to get that one DG4 part, and you had to like you press the button and then you went back near the teleporter, and there was a bunch of flaming zombies and a bunch of electric zombies that were chasing you, and when you would kill them, they'd either blow up in flames or blow up with a huge like boom or a huge like lightning, like a ball of lightning, pretty much. And so these are pretty menacing. But one thing I'd like to point out, they're blue eyes. So now their eyes obviously could just be that way just because they're electrocuted and they're electric. But also, it's been symbolic in the zombie storyline from Black Ops 2 that symbolizes that Richtofen is in control. Now, I doubt that has anything to do with this, but I think Treyarch knows that that is symbolic of Richtofen, and they put it in here. So, not sure. It could just be, most likely it is just with the theme of the electric zombie, and perhaps it could be a boss, like not really a boss round, but like how we've had the hounds and we've had all that stuff in Shadows of Evil and the spider rounds. So it'd basically be like one of those rounds, and that's what I think it's going to be. Just because you see multiple right here, you see two of them, and I don't know. It just seems like that wouldn't be something that's far out of possibility. And I mean, they definitely don't look like normal zombies either. I think if you can see right here in like the middle of their body, it looks like they're not even connected to each other. Like their legs aren't even connected to the rest of their body, and that's kind of weird. Don't know how it's holding together. Maybe the electricity is holding it together. I'm not sure, but it doesn't look like it's attached right now. And so that leads me to believe that it will be basically like one of those boss rounds. And so it sort of has like a weird shape as well. I don't know. I don't even know what to think of this. There's a lot going on in this electric skeleton. So I don't know. I guess we'll see more as time progresses. Now this picture, there was one scene where they had like this Brutus and they showed him off, and he charged up his right arm and it turned red. And now this is like right before he's shooting, you see some kind of like ball of electricity starting to form, and he shoots out like some blue thing right at the end of the scene. And as he shoots out some like blue thing, it really leads me to believe that it's sort of like the Panzer right arm, where it shoots out like a shock charge, or it could be like a laser. It could be, I don't know. There's a lot of things it could be, but I definitely think that this is going to be like the Panzer of this map, with like the Russian mech suit on. Oh, excuse me there, but just like with the Russian mech. Oh my gosh, I had like something stuck in my throat there, but just it leads me to believe with the Russian mech suit that this is going to be like this map's Panzer Soldat, where it shoots stuff out of its right arm and it melees with its left arm. Even though the Panzer has a flamethrower as its left arm, I think this one's going to be similar, just with a sickle, since it's all Russian themed. Now this one is something that's pretty interesting. Now, at first sight, this just looks like some kind of crazy drone that is similar to like those flying lotuses or whatever they were in Shadows of Evil that shot like that were all like yellow and they shot some weird goo at you, and were pretty annoying but not too hard to kill. And but these, they're like huge. If you saw the scene after this with like when Taki was standing in front of it and you shot the drone, these things are pretty big, and I'm not sure if they'll play too big of a part. I'd assume they have like their own boss round as well, or they could just be in a certain area of the map. I'm not sure, but you see that they're shooting out electricity, sort of like how the flying lotuses shot out the yellow juice or yellow goo, whatever you want to call it, in Shadows of Evil. And it's just basically, I think that it's just going to be like one of those enemies. And then it's got like that red light on the bottom. I think that's just for show. I don't think that's going to do too much. But then if you look on the side of this drone, it says 935. And so it's a drone created by Group 935. And so Richtofen, I'll assume, has an expert analysis in this map with a bunch of quotes on these things, talking about how they're useful and stuff like that. And so that leads me to believe that it could be helpful and part of the Easter egg, since it's made by Group 935 and whatnot. But then it also shows, I think probably Nikolai shooting it with a upgrade with a Pack-a-Punch Argus, and so that also leads me to believe that it's an enemy just in a certain part of the map, and I think that that's what it's going to be. But as you can see, clearly a drone, and it says 935 on the side, which means Group 935 has created it, and so I don't know. It could be a trap. It could be. I just think it's going to be some kind of thing that's area specific in the map. So that's basically my thoughts on it. And then you also see in the bottom right, not too big, You see that window? Kind of reminds me of Shadows of Evil. It doesn't look like something that goes along with the theme of this map. It's all dark and gloomy. It sort of reminds me of Shadows of Evil, just with the bright yellow and that stuff. Now this next picture I got of the zombie shield you'll see in the background. There's an Argus outline right there. You can buy the Argus. And they're inside right now. But this is a zombie shield. Now this is a first person appearance of it. And you see it's got like some kind of weird red and pink thing in it. And it's got a bunch of like fangs, like teeth. And it's made out of rocks and stone. And so it's a pretty interesting shield, and it also shoots out some like yellow goo thing, and I don't know. I mean, it's pretty interesting. I like having that it shoots rather than it being a rocket shield, because a rocket shield can get you killed so easily when you try to boost into a bunch of zombies and it doesn't kill all of them, and then you start getting swiped and you just die almost instantly. I like it that it shoots so that it doesn't fling you into all those zombies and whatnot. So. This is definitely a very interesting design of the shield, so I can't wait to use it. This next picture is of a scene. You can see Speed Cole in the top left. It looks like a death trap going to get Speed. And anyways, you see on his hand he's got some kind of like glove that's got a whole bunch of electricity running through it. It's basically a melee glove. It's a power glove, whatever you want to call it, but he uses it. He basically just flies through a bunch of zombies with his fist, and it's like Superman pretty much, because he just flies through a bunch of zombies with his fist, takes them all out. They go flying, and these things look pretty cool. And I'm not sure how you'll be able to get them. I'd assume it's going to be a buildable, but these things look pretty sick. I'm not going to lie. I can't wait to use these. This next picture is something that's extremely interesting, and there's a lot going on here. So the scene before this, they had some kind of like space pod fall out of the sky and land on the ground, and here you see a good picture of it. I didn't screenshot it when it was in the air because it was all blurry and it was just flying through, just so much motion going on that I couldn't get a good picture of it. And so I got a good picture of it here laying on the ground, and I also got a bunch of other things in this picture as well. Now first, before I start talking about the space pod, if you look over to the left, you see Dempsey, and he's got what appears to be dual-wield weapons, and I have a picture of these later on. But you see one of like the Raygun bullets coming out of the right one, and he's basically got dual-wield ray guns, which aren't like the actual ray guns, but they could be the Raygun Mark IIIs, which I'll talk about in a little bit when I have a good picture of them. But you see him shooting them here, and they look like sort of, I'm not sure if that's the ray gun that's creating that effect or if that's a space pod that's creating that effect, but something's making that sonic, that little electric boom over there. And then you go over to the space pod, and you see it's electrocuting zombies that are getting near it. So this could just be a trap that, just they had in there for cinematic reasons. They had the thing falling out of the sky for cinematic reasons, but I highly doubt that. I'd assume that this is part of the Easter egg. Now, I know I've said that a lot in this video, that it could be part of the Easter egg, but hear me out on this one. Alright, so back in Ascension, it was based in Russia, and the Easter egg in Ascension was sending Gersh up into space, and it had to do with that space pod that was on Ascension. Even though you didn't send that pod up into space, it's still basically where Gersh was, where Gersh was set at. And when you launch Gersh into space, maybe this thing comes down with him, and this could be Gersh that's inside of here. And there's been a lot of theories going around that Gersh is going to be in map 3 in this map here. And I think that this would be the way that they'd implement Gersh into the map. And I think that Gersh could could be a big part of the Easter egg as well. So that's my thoughts on this scene. I think that that's Gersh inside of the pod, or it could just be something that's not as important or magnificent at all, and it could just be something as lame as another trap. So there's that picture there. Now this picture is from the mystery box, like I just talked about in the last scene. Dempsey had those dual-wield ray guns, and here you see it here, clearly dual-wield ray guns, and they do not look like the normal ray guns, and they do not look like the Raygun Mark II, so that's what leads me to believe that it's the Raygun Mark III. and they're dual wield as well, so it could just be a new skin for the ray gun, which I'd be highly disappointed if they did that. But I think it's just going to be a ray gun Mark III. They're going to be a little different than the ray gun, and hopefully the ray gun's still in this map, because I don't think there's been a map in Call of Duty history that the ray gun Mark I has not been in. So hopefully this isn't the first. I highly, highly doubt it will be the first that it's not in, but I still hope that they have it in. It'd kind of be disappointing if they didn't. But I think that these are the Raygun Mark IIIs. It makes sense. It looks like it. It's obviously a model of the ray gun, and it's dual wield as well. So I just think it's going to be the Mark III myself, and really awesome looking weapons. And I'm really excited to use these. I cannot wait for the DLC to come out on June 12th or July 12th. My bad. Now this next picture is probably my favorite part of the entire trailer. It's the PPSH from World at War, and Dempsey has a quote like, I guess I'll give this a try once again. And it's just so nostalgic seeing this gun, and it makes me so happy. It looks so nice in first person, and I'm so excited to use this. I cannot wait. As soon as this comes out, the very first map I play, I'm going to be spinning the box repeatedly, just trying to get the PP, and then I'm going to be using the PPSH the whole entire map, and almost every single map that I play this. The PP is by far probably my favorite gun in all of Zombies history, and it's just, it's always a good time when you have a PP. And I'm just so excited for this map, and it looks so awesome, and Treyarch has not disappointed with this trailer. And I do think that this is the last picture that I have, so basically just a bunch of things that I noticed, and just a bunch of stuff that I wanted to give my thoughts on. I didn't really screenshot some of the obvious stuff, like, oh, there's zombies in the map. These zombies are wearing gas masks and stuff like that. I kind of screenshotted stuff that either you might have missed, or that I just kind of wanted to talk about and give my thoughts on. So this right here is a whole DLC, and now you see right there in the bottom right, there's a dragon. It's breathing fire all over the entire city. And I'll take a second right here to talk about the multiplayer maps. Berserk, it looks kind of cool, I think. I think it looks pretty cool. It's all snow themed, and I like snow maps for the most part, as long as they're not lame. I'm kind of like torn on snow maps, because there's some that are really good and some that are really bad. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have to wait to play that map or see video on it. The next video is Cryogen, and this one looks super trippy. It's basically, I think they said it's like it takes place inside of like a robot or like a bunch of mechanized robots, something like that. And so it's going to be pretty trippy, and I think it's going to be fun for the first couple times you play, and that's just going to be a normal map from then on. And I'm going to skip Empire for now, because I'm pretty sure that's the map that I'm thinking of that's going to be the map that everybody talks about in the competitive Call of Duty community. And I'm going to talk about Rumble. Now, I don't remember exactly what they said about Rumble, but it looks like, I'm pretty sure it's like a sports stadium, something like that. It's some kind of stadium. And I like stadium-themed maps for the most part, as long as they don't like absolutely mess them up. Like, I don't remember the name of it. I don't remember what it was named in Black Ops 2, but there was one in Black Ops 2 that it had like a stage with like drums and stuff on it, and I couldn't stand the map. So hopefully it's not like that. And now talking about Empire, this is Raid from Black Ops 2, and I cannot wait for the map. Now unfortunately, I don't think it's going to play the same with wall running and boost jumping, because it's going to give a lot of stupid lines of sight when you're like, you should be able to. I'll save my thoughts on like the movement and stuff for another video, but still, I hope it's played for competitive, as long as the map plays well with the movement. I'm so excited for this DLC pack, and it's just going to be such a good time. And I also have an announcement coming out probably later today about this DLC, or about an event that I'm going to be taking part in with this DLC. So make sure you guys stay subscribed to the channel, and also I just can't wait to share my experiences playing this game, and I can't wait for this DLC to come out. So if you guys are excited for this DLC, make sure you guys click the like button below. Subscribe for more, because I'm going to be posting a lot on this DLC now that I'm out of school and I have a lot of time to make videos. I'm going to be posting a lot with zombies, a lot with multiplayer as well, but mainly zombies. I'm going to get back into my zombies way and start making a lot more zombies videos. Since I don't really have too much to upload, I'm going to start making a lot more zombies videos. So anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Again, comment if you have any comments, suggestions, questions, concerns, anything. Put those in the comment section down below. Trailer will be linked in the description down below if you want to go see for yourself. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank everybody for watching, and YouTube. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you guys later. KCam and